everybody. Welcome to offensively. Got a really veteran offensive line, guys up there with a lot of experience. 3 seniors and 2 juniors on that TCU offensive line. The quarterback, and Max Duggan, one of the Heisman finalists who's had a tremendous season running that Horned Frogs offense. And then you look out at wide receiver. They've got a first-round pick in the upcoming NFL draft that lines up at receiver. He wears number 1. Quentin Johnston is his name. And got a couple of running backs that really have balled out for him this year too. So Georgia's defense, which has struggled here lately, giving up over 1,000 yards in the last 2 games and too many points. All Big 12 return man. He's .335 stack defensive scheme, which is different than what we see here in the Deep South. You see in the Big 12 in football, you got all these air raid and spread offenses in the Big 12. So you're trying to scheme up your defense to try to slow down these passing attacks, these pass-happy teams in the Big 12. So this will be a defense Georgia has not seen very often. 3 defensive linemen, 3 linebackers, and 5 defensive backs, thus the 3-3-5. The stack means they're stacking those linebackers behind the 3 defensive linemen, so it's tough to get a body on them as far as blocking those guys go. They don't blitz very much. They like to drop 8. A week ago, this past weekend against Ohio State, Georgia, with Ohio State's secondary being the weakness of their team, Georgia came out in their first 2 possessions of the game. We ran the ball 57% of the time this year. And against Ohio State, Todd Monken, the offensive coordinator, came out. Their secondary. And as you look at TCU, I see a different matchup this week. As I just mentioned, their secondary probably the strength of their defense. So, look, I would look for Georgia to get back to the run game in this national championship game. And Kenny McIntosh is going to be featured. You're going to see him get the ball a lot. I would anticipate that going on. Kendall Milton and Dajan Edwards. Georgia's 3 running backs, I think, will be a big factor in this matchup in the national title game. How do we attack them offensively? Stetson Bennett at quarterback. Don't think you're going to see us throw the ball as much as we did against Ohio State because of the personnel on TCU's side defensively. And one of the big factors in us being able to survive against Ohio State, Georgia's two receivers that we had not seen most of the season, they were dealing with injuries, and we didn't get to see them play a lot this year. Ad Mitchell, number 5 for Georgia, at the X-wide receiver spot. You see him splitting out wide. Had a injury that kept him out most of the year. Well, he was back against Ohio State and made some big, big plays in the game. Also, Arian Smith, our fastest receiver, maybe the fastest player in the SEC, running track during the offseason, injured again early in the season. We did not see a lot of Arian Smith, number 11, until the last couple of weeks of the season. Georgia tried to throw it to him deep. The last couple of games against LSU in the SEC title game, against Georgia Tech. Didn't see a lot of success there, but had one of the biggest plays of the game against Ohio State. That 76-yard touchdown reception, the go route, the deep ball. Stetson hit him in stride. He ran lead and hold on for victory against Ohio State. Arian Smith and Ad Mitchell are tremendous receivers, and I'm sure we'd love to get them the ball more against TCU. But, you know, I don't think with the way TCU's defense is set up, with their corners being so talented, I think you're going to see us attack TCU a little differently on Monday night. You're going to see us work the middle of the field in the intermediate portion of the defense, as where Stetson, I believe, is going to be focused on throwing the football, that 3-3-5 scheme defensively. You got to have with only 3 defensive linemen, when Georgia runs the ball, you're going to see these 3 linebackers and the strong safety being really overly aggressive, coming up in support of the run, trying to slow down this Georgia run game. And when you see a defense that is scheming it up like that, it allows the offense to take advantage of that over-aggressiveness against the run game. Believe you'll see Todd Monken incorporate into the game plan a lot of run action fakes, a lot of play action fakes to get those linebackers and that safety to aggressively come up and attack the Georgia run game. Then you'll see Stetson pull that ball back out and look over the middle of the field where the void has been created to attack with the passing game. And I think that's great news, because 2 of Georgia's most productive players this season have been Brock Bowers at tight end and Kenny McIntosh at running back. Both these guys you're going to see playing at the NFL level. And Kenny McIntosh as a running back, one of the things the NFL scouts are going to love about him, if they don't already know it, is what a great receiver he is out of the backfield. So I would look for Stetson Bennett to be targeting Brock Bowers a lot in this game. Hopefully he's over that sickness that slowed him down against Ohio State. He's feeling better, because he could be the guy that puts Georgia over the top in this national championship game. So I'm looking for Stetson Bennett to target Brock Bowers 8 to 10 times in the game. I'm looking for Stetson Bennett to target Kenny McIntosh as a receiver coming out of the backfield 8 to 10 times in the game, trying to get those guys the ball, working the middle of the field with the way those linebackers and safety have to play the run game aggressively. That's what I'm seeing on the offensive side of the ball. When you see TCU, again, 3 defensive linemen, they're dropping 8 players back into their pass defense most of the time. And so that's going to put a premium on Stetson Bennett and his decision-making in this game. The thing that Georgia doesn't want to do offensively is turn the ball over. Now, look, you don't want to do that anytime, but especially you don't want to turn the ball over in the national championship game. That would be something that could help TCU stay in the game and even think about pulling off the big upset in the game. So Stetson's going to have to be really sharp with his decision-making. With 8 players in pass defense, the windows to get the ball to your receiver are going to tighten up a little bit. And so Stetson's going to have to be really disciplined. And when let's say he's targeting Brock Bowers on a pass, and that window looks really tight, really condensed to get the ball into Brock Bowers, Stetson's got to be disciplined and not throwing the ball, not trying to fit the ball into these tight areas of the defense, and just go through your progression. Come off that tight window and check it down to the next receiver in the progression. Or what Stetson can do also, if they're going to drop 8 into coverage and only rush 3 players, then that's going to allow Stetson to hurt TCU scrambling and running with the football, hurt him with his legs. Again, you got 8 back in coverage, only 3 pass rushers. The running lanes to escape the pocket are going to be bigger. Hadn't seen Stetson run the ball very much here the last couple of games. This is a matchup where Stetson can really hurt him with his legs, so expect to see some of that. Defensively, a little concerned. Gosh, we've given up over 1,000 yards in the last 2 matchups defensively. LSU, with a lot of talent offensively in the SEC title game, had trouble slowing them down. And I think part of that was by design. Georgia led from the very beginning against LSU. And the one thing you don't want to do is give up these big plays in the passing attack and allow that opponent to catch up without taking much time off the clock. So I think Georgia's secondary, the plan there, once we got the lead, was to back off a little bit, let them complete some of the underneath passes, come up and make the tackle, and make them go 10 to 12 to 14 plays and take a lot of time off the clock. That's what you want to do when you've got the lead. Now, with Ohio State, we're playing catch-up. So, Georgia needed to throw the ball, and Georgia's defense needed to come up with some big stops to allow us to come back and win that football game. So, look, I'm a little bit concerned about the Georgia defense and where they're at right now, but hoping they'll come up with a better effort against Texas Christian in this game. I know a lot of people are on Ringo. I keep hearing it all over town. What's wrong with Ringo? How come Keeley is getting toasted? And look, that couldn't be that to me is sort of a wrong evaluation. I thought he played really well against Ohio State and Marvin Harrison Jr. He only, one-on-one, I believe he only caught 1 pass against Keeley Ringo in the game. I think it's more about us not getting the pass rush these last 2 games that have really hurt us defending the pass. So I think it's more about the pass rush than it is about us receivers in the secondary. And look, we've lost our best pass rusher in Nolan Smith. Not a lot's been said about that since the injury around midseason, but, we've really missed Nolan Smith and his ability to get to the quarterback and get him on the ground. This Max Duggan is a tremendous player at quarterback. He's a guy that has overcome some adversity, a lot like Stetson. He's a tremendous competitor. If you've seen TCU play this year, you've seen him back. Those fourth quarter wins, when you've got to produce, when you've got to step up, you've got to deliver. Max Duggan has done it. One of the reasons why he was a Heisman finalist this year, but he's a really outstanding runner, especially in the red zone. So Duggan it's going to be important to slow him down in this game. Their best running back is injured. Don't really know Kendre Miller, if he's going to be able to go or not in the game, but he's an all Big 12 back. That's going to hurt them if he can't make an impact in this game. But TCU with a really good receiving core, a quarterback that can spin it. This is another tough challenge for the Georgia defense. Man, I'm feeling pretty confident today about the game. You see my notes here on the game. I got the depth chart on both sides of the ball, trying to break it down and study what we're going to see Saturday night in an effort to come on the radio show and talk intelligently this week leading into the game. But I'm feeling pretty confident right now on Georgia running it back and getting the back-to-back national championships. Feeling really confident that this thing might be a boat race, if you've heard of that term. I think we got a chance to maybe blowing these guys out. Don't tell TCU. We don't want to give them any bulletin board material, but really excited to see this game Monday night and our chances of winning back-to-back national championships. And who am I happy for? You know, I get a lot of people asking me, Buck, are you happy for Stetson Bennett, or do you want to hold on to being the quarterback with one national championship? Stetson's going to pass you and have 2 national championships if they win Monday night. No, man, I'm so happy for Stetson and the success that he's experienced over these last 2 years. You know, in the worst way, I hope he's able to be the first quarterback to run it back since A.J. McCarron at Alabama. I think it was 2011 and 2012. And Tommy Frazier at Nebraska was another quarterback that was able to reach these heights of back-to-back titles back in the 90s. Tommy Frazier, a tremendous option quarterback. But really happy for Stetson and these guys. Gotten to know a lot of these players, obviously, working in the business. And, you know, that makes you want to see them be successful even more. So I think we're going to see that happen. And, look, we're going to see Georgia right back knocking on the door, being in the mix next season. We won't know who the quarterback's going to be for a while, but Georgia's loaded up with talent, with a great job Kirby and his staff have done recruiting. And if you look at the schedule, take a peek at the Georgia schedule for 2023. Manageable comes to mind. Others will say, the critics will say, it's the easiest schedule in college football next season. Got a chance to be right back in the mix next season. Kirby has done a great, great job. And, you know, I know he gets a lot of credit for being the defensive mind that he is as far as X's and O's go. But I don't think he gets enough of the credit for the job that he does as the head coach of relating, communicating, and motivating these 17, 18, and 19-year-old players. Nobody's doing a better job than Kirby Smart when it comes to that. And he deserves a lot of credit. And I know he's getting a lot of credit here regionally, here in the Deep South, but I think nationally now people are starting to pay attention to this dynasty that Kirby and the Georgia Bulldogs have going on in Athens right now. People are starting to pay attention. We are in a great place with Georgia football. It was an awesome hire going over and getting Kirby and bringing him home. Nobody's outworking Kirby Smart, and nobody's communicating and motivating as well as Kirby is here these last couple of seasons. So as a Georgia guy, hey, man, it doesn't get any better than this. And looking forward to seeing the Dawgs bringing it home on Monday night. Hope you enjoy it, too. And thanks for tuning in. Extra Innings with Buck Belue. We're going to do this twice a week in 2023. Hope you enjoy it. It's going to do it for today. And have a great rest of the day. Enjoy that national championship, Georgia fans.